Hey, this is Lito from Crypto Testers. In this video, I'm going to tell you about Polynomial, a very cool protocol to earn high yield on Optimism. Optimism is a layer 2 network where fees are quite cheap, so you can really enjoy yourself and make the most out of these high yields. First of all, to understand how Polynomial is able to give you such high yields, you need to understand options. And options are basically financial instruments that two parties exchange. So it's like an agreement between two parties, an agreement to buy or sell an asset at a specific date in the future at a specific price. So for example, I could buy a call option for Ether to buy Ether at, say, $3,500 in 1 year. Now, if in 1 year the price of Ether is at $10,000, I would obviously make a big profit because I would be able to buy Ether at 3,500 as specified in the option contract, and then sell it on the market at $10,000 and make a big profit. Yeah, the people that buy and sell options are basically people that want to speculate on prices, on rising or falling prices, or to like hedge themselves to protect certain positions. The gist of it is that these options exist, and the people that sell these options, people or institutions, whatever, they are obviously not doing this for free. They are making money because they are charging premiums, fees for selling these options to buyers. And Polynomial is a protocol that makes selling options very easy. It puts this into a strategy and it makes it very accessible to normal people to engage in an option selling strategy. Normally, a normal person doesn't, know how options work, let alone, knowing how to price them or to sell them in a way that over the long term, it will make money. But Polynomial makes this very easily. They have these vaults where you can essentially just deposit funds and then it will put these funds to use in order to earn premiums. And for example, let's really put this into practice and look how this works under the hood. So you have this covered call strategy vault. It uses Ether as an asset. So you can deposit Ether, and then what this vault will do, it will take your Ether and it will sell so-called call options on a decentralized option protocol called Lyra.finance. If these call options expire out of the money, and this vault always sells options that are dated for 7 days. So it will sell, and then if these options expire out of that money, then it will earn premiums, and these premiums, along with all the other funds that are deposited in there, will be reinvested the week after to sell more call options and so on. It basically repeats and repeats and repeats. It is an ongoing strategy, and the yield obviously also compounds because the premiums earned will go back into the vault, and then the week after it sells even more call options. This basically means that, let's say we're right now Ether is at a price of, I think, 3,500. Imagine this vault would sell call options at a strike price of 3,800. And then if in 1 week, let's say next Friday, the price of Ether is at 3,700, so it went up but not above the strike price, then the people that bought the options will pay premiums into this vault, and we depositors in this vault will have earned these fees. So obviously this is not without risk. It means also that if the price of Ether goes above this strike price, and the one that I chose is completely fictional, but if it goes above, then it means that this vault can also lose money in this particular week. But on the long run, this sort of strategy has proven to be very, very profitable. And if you backtest this against a lot of price data, over the long run, it always works out to be quite profitable. Over short term, it can be unprofitable. So it depends kind of, if you have a very short time frame, you deposit for only 3 weeks and you're super unlucky, then it can also be that you have lost some money. Overall, this performs quite well. So now that you understood the gist of it, let's look at how you can deposit funds into this. So first step is obviously bring assets to Optimism. And let's say you have assets on Ethereum, then you can just go to Hop, which is a bridge, and bridge assets from mainnet into Optimism, hit the send button. If you've never used Hop, you'll first have to approve the token, give Hop permission to move your funds. You could also use the native Optimism bridge. I'll also link it. But Hop is often cheaper, and you can see this because you send one and you get a little bit more than one. So it's a bit cheaper, and that's because most of the time there's more people that are bridging out of Optimism using Hop than bridge in, and so you get a little discount for bridging in. So that's quite cool. Other options, you can also get Ether, or not only Ether, USDC and so on, via other means on Optimism. One is using a fiat on-ramp. I think transact.finance allows you to buy Ether on Optimism using a credit card, or you can go through an exchange, a centralized exchange called Huobi, and then withdraw your assets onto your MetaMask on Optimism. With that being said, so if you hit the send button here, it will take 5 or 10 minutes for your Ether to arrive, or USDC, whatever, and then you have it on Optimism. Now, next step is to go onto this vault that we have seen before. And first of all, if you've never used Optimism, then that's no biggie. The easiest way to sort of install it or see it on your MetaMask is to go here on the switch to Optimism button. And then if you have never used Optimism, it will add it as a network, and then you'll see your MetaMask is connected to Optimism, and you'll see your 1 Ether, 2 Ether that you sent from Ethereum to Optimism. You'll see it reflected in that balance overview. That's done, and you always need a little bit of Ether to pay transaction fees on Optimism. So even if you decide to bridge USDC over instead of ETH, bear in mind that you'll also need Ether, so you'll need to send 2 assets over. That's why I suggest you use Ether. Next step is to actually approve sETH, and I'll explain this in a second. Yeah, you have to sign terms and conditions first. Now you have to approve sETH, and I'll explain what sETH is in a second. You see get sETH, and I'll click on this here now. We need synthetic ETH. And why synthetic ETH and not normal ETH? The reason is that Polynomial builds on a decentralized exchange protocol called Lyra.finance, which in return builds on a synthetic asset platform or exchange called Synthetics, and they use synthetic assets. So they're sort of derivatives, but they're backed one-to-one by Ether, so you can be sure that your sETH will be redeemable against ETH at all the time at a reasonable rate. And so you can treat it as Ether basically, but just as an additional step that you have to do. So as you saw, I clicked on get sETH in the Polynomial app. This led me to 1inch, which is a DEX aggregator that always gives you the best price from all the decentralized exchanges on Optimism. So instead of looking manually on Uniswap and then on Sushi or whatever, you go to 1inch and it gives you the best price. So let's get 1 sETH then. I confirm. You see it's succeeded, and you see how fast Optimism is. It's really a joy. Now it took a little while to see that now I had sETH, but it did it. So now I will click on the max button because I want to deposit everything into the vault. Obviously you can choose whatever amount you want to deposit. I click on preview deposit. Again, here it says 0% APY, and it might be also the case that for the first week, it won't show any APY because it just doesn't have any historical data to base this on. It will need at least 1 week to be able to show anything there after achieving first results. But yeah, I'll click the deposit button, and then my MetaMask pops up. I confirm the transaction, and I'm in the vault. Very nice. A few things about the interface. Maybe here you then see your portfolio once you've deposited worth $3.4 thousand. That's just the price of ETH, I guess, more or less, since it doesn't have right now, it hasn't accrued any yield yet. No options have been sold, only once the vault is activated. But then you see the transaction history here. I deposited 1 sETH, so that's correct. And I think you can see, here again it shows my position, and there's a maximum capacity of 300 sETH at first, and I believe that this will be increased incrementally as time progresses. But then you also have, you can see also the vault performance. Again, since the vault hasn't sold any options yet, there's nothing to show. But in the future, it will show, week 1, X amount was earned. Week 2, Y amount was earned, and so on. And then it also shows here the transactions of the vault, what it sold, how many strikes, options, and so on. Here you can read a little bit about exactly how the vault works and the risks involved and so on. So yeah, this is it. I hope this was useful. And if you have any questions, please reach out on Twitter @CryptoTesters. We're always willing to answer any questions about this. So yeah, have fun.